What's up, degenerates? Right, lads, the big clash is on Saturday. One of the biggest clashes in national hunt racing, Cold Bear Sports Patreon service against the bookies.
Yeah, well, I mean, the bookie was well in front at one stage, but we definitely redressed the balance in spectacular style there the last few days. So long may that continue, Patrick.
Good man, Joe Value. Right, to look ahead at the equine clash. So, massive race now for racing on Saturday. I never thought, to be honest, I don't know, get your opinion. I thought one wouldn't show up. That was my gut feeling. But we're getting both horses, Energumene and Shishkin. Obviously, with two other runners as well. We'll give them a mention. Amula Gold and two. The
First flow,
yeah. Definitely a clash of the Titans, and whose bubble is going to be bursted, Joe?
Yeah, well, I mean, as you know, I'm a huge fan of Shishkin. He was actually just trained down the road as a 3-year-old by Virginia Constantine just before he won his point-to-point. She sold him on then, obviously, to Nicky Henderson's and Joe Donnelly, obviously. He has always looked a superstar, to be fair, and I was always a massive fan. And I'm just hoping that he goes and beats Energumene. I think Energumene, if he's ever going to beat him, he'll beat him Saturday because it's a right-handed track, which I feel suits Energumene a little bit better than left-handed. Just have a feeling on that. I could be wrong. And also soft ground. Everything sets up perfectly for Energumene. And if Shishkin beats him Saturday, you'd have to say that Energumene would never beat him. That's my opinion.
Well, I'm just going to pick up on something you said there. Definitely interesting because when I was watching Energumene running I watched back one or two of his races, and it was in Leopardstown. I was watching it back. I think it was maybe the Irish Arkle or something. I watched back one of the races in Leopardstown, and I was thinking to myself, oh, geez, he's jumping a little right. And I said to myself, as they were coming down the back straight, I said, well, now, when they start to curve back left, I said, no, this'll make up my mind. I said, if he lands on the inside lead, he's 100%. But I said, if he lands out to the right, I think Paul Townend that day was keeping him out a little right down the back straight, and then as they came, I think is it the third, fourth last or whatever, it could be the fourth, third last and second last, and I just got that instant feeling. I said, right, if he lands on the outside leg over these fences, he's definitely going to be better right-handed. But he winged the two fences, the fourth last and the third last, and he landed on the inside leg both times. And I said to myself, no, he's 100% fine.
Fair enough.
I think because if a horse is going right, he will not land on the inside leg. He will land on the outside leg. Now, he might have done a 3 out of 3. He might have landed on the outside leg at the second last, but I'm not too sure. But the fourth last and the third last, where they start curving, he jumped to the inside leg. So I have no issues with him going.
He was brilliant that day, obviously, in the Arkle in Leopardstown, but there was one or two fences down the back straight. But I just was, that's a little bit of a vulnerability because I was expecting this. Well, everyone was expecting this big clash last year in the Arkle, and obviously, Energumene didn't make the day. I
think no harm for Energumene that he didn't make it. You know that, maybe because he's taken it. He's a fine big horse that looks with time he's getting better.
Yeah, he's spectacular. Jesus Christ, some of the jumps there, even the last day in Cork, wasn't it? On his comeback effort, he was taken on by Notebook and all that. And Notebook, who was a good horse in his own right, ended up falling out the back of the telly trying to keep up with him. So that'll tell you pretty much all you need to know of the kind of talent that the horse has. But as I say, Shishkin is super talented as well. And may the best horse win. It's fantastic for horse racing, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just brilliant clash to watch. Like I said, I love the two horses. I don't know who's the best. I'm going to enjoy the race. I think Ascot could really suit Energumene for two reasons. He's going to get to dominate the race, and Nico's going to sit behind him to try and collect them late. But I think at this stage of the year, Energumene doing his own thing in front is definitely going to give Shishkin, you know, a target to aim at. It's whether
It's fascinating. Yeah.
it's fascinating. Like it's what I can just see the makeup of the race where an Energumene will make it and Shishkin will follow. They don't like 2 for gold and a Mula Gold is slow as a boat in handicaps. So he's just gonna be out the back. The other horse, First Flow will try and go forward. He won't lead an Energumene for a stride. And it's going to be an interesting race. I think an Energumene will kick first, and either Shishkin will get him or he won't, and that'll be it. So
yeah, I can't wait. I hope the 2 of them jump brilliant all the way around.
Yeah,
and then you'll just know.
It is possible an Energumene does get a shade low at 1 or 2. You know, it is like he does just get like he's a good jumper, but if you wanted to knock him, he can be a tad little clumsy in 1 or 2 spots, but nothing major. But Ascot is a great place to expose anything like that. But I just hope, as you said, the 2 of them jump brilliant, the 2 of them turn into the straight, and may the best win. But if anyone is given a price on the reverse forecast, I'll have it.
At evens, if you don't mind.
Look, it's going to be a brilliant race, honestly. Gut feeling, Shishkin was deadly the last day. Look, if an Energumene jumps every fence in front perfect, I think Shishkin will have to be a jet to get him. I really do.
That's it. And we don't know how good he is yet. But, I just have a feeling about Shishkin that, and I've always had it since he first started over fences, that and I know I'm thinking of Splinter Sacco here, and I know I'm thinking of Altio when I say this, but I think, and I'm hoping, Shishkin is the best 2-miler over fences that Nicky's ever had. I'm not saying he is. Yeah. I'm saying it's possible.
He'd have a long way to go to match Sprinter Sacra.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Here, what was I going to say to you? Just does this now? I don't want to. This isn't. Does this though now take the prestige off the Arkle when we get to Cheltenham? Does it, like? Is it now? Questions already answered. One beats
Queen Mother.
The Queen Mother. One beats the other convincingly. So let's say one all of a sudden then the race hasn't got that. You know what I mean?
That depends on how far one of them beats the other, isn't it?
Yeah. It really
if there's only say a 2 or 3 lengths in it, well, the other camp that got beaten say, "Oh, look, we don't mind taking this on again in Cheltenham," and you'll have your rematch, and then maybe you might have your trilogy. And I don't know, you might have it in Punchestown or somewhere like this.
Yeah,
there would who's the best horse.
There would be nothing better than the 2 of them fighting it out up the straight and getting a ding dong where there was no winner or loser, kind of where you're still live in Cheltenham. I think the worst thing that could happen for the Queen Mother is one trashes the other, and then it's ball.
Yeah. In a way, I hope that happens because it'll just suit me. But in another way, as you say, you're taking off the real appeal of the Queen Mother then. So for racing, I suppose it'll be good if there's only 2 or 3 lengths in it.
Right. Well, I'm hoping. You took the words out of my mouth. I am going to say, and I might be wrong. They're 2 very good horses, and I'd say that's all that's between them. I'd say a couple of lengths.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And that's what's going to be interesting. I would be very surprised if one trashed one by 15 lengths. I would really be surprised. If one horse pulled out and left the other. Not on.
Can I say one thing? I'll say one thing. If one horse is going to murder the other, I don't think it can be emerging and beat Hammer and Shishkin, because Shishkin is going to have the race rent to suit. He's going to stalk him, and he's only going to go from between the last 2 fences probably, or something like that. Yeah, whereas the other way around.
But that's the worst thing Shishkin can do, because I'll tell you why. Because an Energumene gets into a brilliant rhythm, and he gets into a real good comfort zone, and he will not be found wanting like all the other horses when they turn into the straight. He's going to gallop. So I think the best thing he could do is go with an Energumene. That's what I think the best thing he can do.
Jesus. Go head for head, like.
Well, I think so. I think Shishkin is a very measured, polished jumper, and I think if you let an Energumene, right, let's say Nico de Bronville sits behind an Energumene, right? Listen, let's say Shishkin, Listen, Shishkin races a little lazy. An Energumene 6 clear at the 3rd last. You mark my words on that. Like Shishkin
Why I don't think that'll happen is because something similar happened with Altior and what's that good horse of? Well, he was a good
yeah,
horse.
but it's inevitable to happen because the rider on Shishkin is a softly rider. That's the way he rides. He lets horses get lazy at important parts of races. That's what he does. Altior nearly pulled himself up a few times in races and then he came running. So
yeah, no. What I'm saying is, why they won't go head to head from the very get go, as you're suggesting they might, is because Nicky Henderson does not want an all-out war
of course.
with any of us.
Well, then, an Energumene is the one to beat. Because Nicky's going here now. Nico, don't kill him. See how we get on. Cheltenham's on, and the fair is in, and you know what I mean. The fucking horse box could get a puncture on the way. But anyway, do you know what I mean? It's a clash.
I hope not.
It's a clash of the titans. I really hope we see a thriller. I really do. I hope we see the two of them come down the straight, hammer and tongs, upsides. I do think Shishkin is the more polished jumper in tight spots where he'd have to get out of trouble. And Energumene is a very good jumper. I'm not saying he's a brilliant jumper, but just if he does meet one in a little tight spot, he might be a tiny bit awkward. That's all. You know what I mean? A tiny bit awkward. But he's a very good horse. I honestly think if Energumene makes it and Shishkin sits behind him, I think Energumene will probably win this time round. You know, just because.
Yes, look, who knows? It's interesting.
Well, what are you going to do? Just give him the freebie and sit behind them.
Yeah, and then do him for a turn of foot up the home straight.
I don't know about that. We'll see. Anyway, look, I hope the best.
Well, it won't go head to head with him anyway. That's
it's not a race I'm having a bet in. I'm just going to enjoy it. And whoever wins. Like I said, it's fascinating. Anyway, we should move on. But
you're underestimating Shishkin's turn of foot. Like he's a lethal turn of foot.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. I'm not underestimating nothing.
Yeah. So why would you go head to head with a lad then when your horse has a lethal turn of foot? That's what I'm asking. Why not just sitting behind him? And then
listen to me. In a 4-runner race, you do not give a horse a freebie. Let me tell you that.
Oh, he won't be a freebie. He'll be 2 lengths or 3 lengths clear of him.
Well, let him race lazy, jump in the 5 up the top, and watch your man just be 5 or 6 clear turning him. I'm telling you. Look at Shishkin in Kempton. He takes a second to hit the turbo. He's a very good horse. He takes a second just to hit the turbo, but when he gets into gear, he's fucking a rocket ship. You know what I mean? So, but he doesn't want to let a horse like Energumene have that advantage over him of less, 3 lengths max. I think could be a good number.
Yeah, that's all he has to do. He'll stay within 3 lengths of Matty's easy.
Yeah, I think. Look, it is. We don't. It's so fascinating.
We don't know. Yeah.
We do not fucking know who the best is. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just. Anyway, I think I can't see one troushing the other, and I hope we get a great finish to the race. Right. We'll move on then to another horse you've been keen on all year, Jonbon. Jonbon One Swan. He's going for the Supreme Sky Bet Trial, I think, in Haydock, the 125. Should be winning and hopefully enhances his reputation. However, I will say before I hand it over to you, I really fucking hope there's an even gallop in this race and it's not a farce of a race, because the races we have watched so far have been a bit of an annoyance to watch, to be honest. Yes, he's much the best, but let's just see how good he really is, because I'm sure if they go that even gallop, we'll see how good he is, so. Definitely.
Absolutely, yeah, that's the whole thing, isn't it? Like you need an even gallop to get a proper gauge, and hopefully we get it. I think we should, it's a proper race, proper horses involved.
The runners here, I see my eye. I'm just going to pull up the race here.
Yeah, so but he has to give them all £5, and there's a lot of talented horses up against him. A lot of unexposed horses, but if he is as good as I'd be hoping he is, I'd expect him to brush them aside quite easily. But Haydock, soft ground, giving away a bit of weight, it's a test. I don't think it's a penalty kick as things stand, but if he goes and proves it to be a penalty kick, well then that 3-1 or 7-2 book to Supreme you'd be happy enough with it.
Yeah, well, we have a lovely line of form here, because if my eye runs his race, we can then, I know 2 different horses, Constitution Hill, beat my eye on debut, but at least if Jonbon's never going to do the way Constitution wins, he's never going to bolt clear like that. But if, let's say, my eye runs his race, Lebowski made all the running in here and looked pretty pacey. Now, it did get held up when it won in fast last, but it could make the running. So there could be a bit of pace. Richmond Lake, Donald McCain's like to go forward.
Yeah.
So we're looking like we're going to get the pace. Now, however, I'm not expecting Jonbon to sprint clear, but I'm hoping to see him cruise behind the horses and win a cosily couple of lengths. That's what you're hoping. Hopefully my eye runs a good race, gives us a gauge of form. And I expect him to win. I really do. I know he's to give the £5. He's 2 to 5 shot, but you'll be hoping he's going to beat these horses and beat them comfortable. Donny Boy.
Yeah, there's a nice.
Yeah, go on ahead.
Right, there's a nice horse in it there, trained by Nick Alexander, called Donny Boy. Not saying he'll beat Jonbon or anything, but for the future, he does look very smart. And maybe as a bet without the favourite, an alternative, I'd be looking at him, and you'll get a bit of a price too. Like, he's 20 to 1 to win the race. If he sits back and lets the race unfold, Jonbon could just go on with it, and he might grab the second. He's a nice horse, that Donny Boy. You just don't know how good he is yet. I thought he was fierce, impressive, albeit against much inferior rivals last time. But for a little play on the forecast, maybe Jonbon to beat Donny Boy for me.
Yeah, it could be interesting. Look, I just like I said, they're more like these races the weekend are kind of more watch and learn, and that's for me anyway, definitely, especially with the big race in Ascot and even with this race, just to see. But I really like the fact Lebowski and Richmond Lake is in here, because if we get that pace, I think Jonbon will then, we see how good he is.
Please God that happens, and then we get a better indication. But all the signs and all the talk seems to be that Jonbon is very, very good, and only for Constitution Hill, come along, they'd be just all guns blazing for the Supreme.
What about the Nicky Henderson horse that won yesterday in Newbury, Up on an Air, or what was he called?
Walking on Air or something like that.
He was out with the Mayor Refinement, wasn't? I think, is he?
He was a fierce impressive, there's no doubt about that, but I think there might be aiming him at the Ballymore. I think he's more of a staying horse, so I don't think he'll come into the Supreme equation.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not. not with the hand that he has. He's throwing something at the Ballymore anyway. But when did Refinement win a stayers race in Cheltenham, or was it a Bartlett, or she won some long distance race? Did she?
She did. She definitely won something. Michael Tabor's colour.
High roller, didn't he?
Or maybe she won the stairs race in Punchestown, but she might have been second or third.
Yeah, she won some stairs race, so definitely the step.
Yeah, she definitely won in Punchestown, I think.
And looks a player. I'll tell you another horse that impressed me during the week, or whether it was last week or not. Another horse that JPR1, Colin Tizard.
Oh yeah. Did you see the handicap mark he got?
What did he get?
Like, they barely touched him. I can't remember now offhand, but I think he's 131 or something.
Well, he should go to the Coral Cup and he win it on the Bright.
Yeah, he win it, yeah.
If he got 131, he should go to the Coral Cup and
I'll just check it now while I'm on the phone to you, as the fella says. That's what I think he got anyway.
If he did get that mark, you would be mad not to go to the Coral Cup.
Yeah, because I thought
if you could get into the Coral Cup, could you be guaranteed to run that handicap mark? Surely he got more than that.
Just checking. No, sorry, no.
No, dude, pull it up because we don't want to be missing a handicap good thing either.
No, and this is a handicap good thing. Like, I thought when he won a Taunton the last time, I said the fucking Aegis now, excuse me language, the Aegis now after blowing his handicap mark altogether. And
but Joe,
he's rated 130. That's what he is.
130. Well, then he mightn't even be guaranteed to get into a Coral Cup. But anyway, look, he's a very good horse. There's no doubt about it. It was his first step up in trip, and I wouldn't say they were going there not blowing a hand. They're thinking this is better than a handicapper, Joe. However, they're not going there to protect the handy. They're going there because he's a fucking right horse. He's running Cheltenham was very, very good on his second run. they step up and trip and taunt, and he's a lively outsider where if he runs in any of the other races.
It's just like, I mean, they're talking about wanting to win races at Cheltenham. Why go and take on Mullins and Henderson and Elliott and the whole lot of them against the really good novices when he can get in here? If he needs another win, let him go and win somewhere else and then get in off your 140.
He would be
in the Coral Cup or whatever he needs.
Coral Cup. He can run in either race.
I'd say that's what they're doing. It's ridiculous. Like, why would you sacrifice a serious handicap mark like that to have a go, reach for the stars, and then finish
for the stars after you win? Like horses have came through that route. Delta work. Horses have came through this handicap route. Go back through a few more of them. Rooster Booster won the county hurdle off top weight. Then he went on to
Archibald got beaten.
There's horses that can come that route. They can come that way around. Look, off them kind of marks, I'd be trying to sneak them into the Coral Cup, and if he can get in. I don't know if
it's like, would you finish 6th or 7th in a Ballymore or win a county hurdle? That's what you want to be.
Well, he could go to either race because he shows off that kind of mark, a stiff 2 mile in Cheltenham would suit. But I really think if he got into the Coral Cup somehow off them if he won another one, went up to 136 or 7, I reckon he'd be a really good bet. Right, so then we're going to just have a quick look, Joe. Sunday, I see Allaho is out in the horse and jockey grade 2 race. I see, in fact, now I don't know if they're declared or not, but I seen we had Fakir Dudaris, we had Allaho. Who else was in it? I think the horse of the big white face horse that took on an Energumene for Notebook. I think Sam Crow. There's a lot of them entered in it. Are we going to see Allaho? Is there any report on that?
I'd be surprised. At the last I heard, they were, he got a fierce hard race.
Yeah, they weren't going to run him.
Going to go straight to Ryan there. Maybe he's fucked up a bit. Maybe they're happy enough to go again with him. I haven't read up anything about Allaho lately. I was just waiting for March, and that was it.
Yeah.
Maybe they are going again with him. It's a bit of a surprise to me to hear that.
Yeah, I seen the racing manager for the Cheveley Park or Cheveley Park, whatever, saying the other day that we were putting them away now and we were going to see him in the spring. So maybe he's just entered in it as a case it broke up and he could can't around. Willie Mullins will know best, I suppose. Yeah. But I was happy enough just to wait till Cheltenham. Yeah, well, look, if he runs, it's very interesting. I think they have him in. Why not? They'll probably evaluate a declaration to see what's going or what's not. Or he might be just not running. Maybe he was entered in it from a while ago and they forgot to take him out.
Possibly, yeah. No, I see there's a lot of runners going over to Lingfield now for this Winter Million series. I thought it was quite interesting.
Tell me a bit more about this series. I'm not familiar with it.
Just the organisation just after throwing a lot of money into it, and it's a bit like that. Remember the thing on the flat that had the championship, the race and league, where Joseph O'Brien and was team. Remember that whole team league thing they had there during the summer, where all the different trainers, the leading trainers, were up against each other kind of every week. But this winter series is it's whoever has decent horses. The racing is good. Like when you look at it, when you go through it, there's all very good racing, very interesting. Darver Star is going over Sunday.
I seen him enter all right, yeah.
Like he looks back to his best now. He's very, very impressive back over hurdles. He didn't like fences, so back over hurdles now, and they're stretching him out and trip 2 miles 7. Could be a little bit of an outsider for the Stairs hurdle if he put up a big performance here. Not saying he win it now or anything like that, but it's just interesting that he seems to be staying a lot more stronger now since he got that bit older. And obviously he was third in the champion hurdle before.
But he always kind of stayed well too at the 2 mile. He always finished off well. There was once or twice I think he might have won a close finish somewhere where he battled. If memory serves me correct, or he was very good at the last year over hurdles. All right, he smashed that Kalos Emery or one of them horses.
Yes.
Definitely interesting. I think there was a couple of good mares races there as well. Or I seen there was some interesting runners. I seen some lads travelling from the north of England down to it as well. So definitely best of luck to Lingfield. Fair play to them for putting on. I'm not sure.
not sure whether it's only Lingfield, but you know this crowd that has all these meetings, Arena Leisure, I think.
Right.
And they own that track. They own the likes of Doncaster as well. It'd be interesting to see have Doncaster got a big winter series like this as well coming up. And it has to be good because the likes of Narver Star, for instance, there's very few races he could have ran over here in Ireland. Probably the Galmoil hurdle would be one of them. But he's rated too high over hurdles. The handicap, he'd be handicapped over races, you see.
Yeah, but too, it's actually a perfect time of year as well, because if you had a horse that just missed out on the Christmas period that you wanted to run before Cheltenham, you have a lovely little gap, so it's probably perfect time, and you have.
It's a great initiative, yeah, absolutely. For it, and then there's no excuse now for English trainers that were saying, we've nowhere to go before Cheltenham. We'd have to go over to the Dublin Racing Festival. Yeah. Well, now you don't. Now you can run all your.
You can stay at home.
During this series.
And as you say, if they own the other tracks, they might throw something on as well. But look, if they didn't do something like this, these horses would have never went to Lingfield. So it's definitely working, and it's definitely obviously a great addition. Makes it interesting for our side as well. Try and find an out winner over there. Definitely absolutely interesting. Anything else? Anything catch your eye during the week, or any dark horse to look out for? It was, I suppose.
No, I don't want to. I can't really discuss it too much because when I mention the race, it'll just let the cat out of the bag. I have a couple of strong selections for Saturday, so I'll just keep them to myself for the time being. But no, very happy to we made a good comeback there the last few days, and just keep working hard and let's keep moving on.
Yeah, no, absolutely murdered the bookies the last 2 days, and that's what it's about. What was I going to say? Look, lads, we didn't really touch on Haydock because it's a massive day for us on the Patreon service, for the Colbert Sport Patreon service. So we decided we would stay away from it. So all the followers, be ready Saturday, because there's a big clash on, and it's not two horses; it's us against the bookies. Joe, what was I going to say? I suppose we can wrap up episode.
Yeah, we can say goodbye.
We can say goodbye. But sure, listen, if you ever see the CEO of a betting firm down a dark alley, kick him in the nuts and tell him take his time counting it. Good luck.
Good luck.